Welcome, welcome, welcome to this really super special Wealth Rebels show where we're launching this last session that I'm sharing on YouTube for the Star Portal, which is the monthly investment circle where we host a collective of amazing entrepreneurs. And we get together and we hear from wealth experts, wealth being more than money, wealth being your well-being, your energy, your abundance, your lifestyle, your time, and your health. And this last session, it's really special actually because I'm hosting it with my beautiful friend, Gemma Mullinger of, you've got it here, Nutrition Gems. Now, I've known Gemma since I had a really traumatic birth, like 7 years ago,
Mm.
because we met when I decided to, after having literally the most traumatic birth ever with my little baby boy Harry, I was going to go back to do yoga. And I found a yogi in South Molton, which was Gemma, where I could take my baby along to the session. My baby did not want to be doing yoga, but that is how we met a really long time ago. And our lives have just weaved in and out really beautifully around entrepreneurship over the years. And we've worked together. You've come into my programs. I've done things with you. And we've become, as well, really good friends because you're one of the few people that I will spend actual real time with as well. Like, there's a lot of people
Yeah.
in the world of life, and you're one of the few people that I classify as a friend, which, just makes you super special because I'm very choosy
Oh,
about who I'm. I think that's really important, in life. You're really
same.
choosy about who you spend your time, energy, and life with,
Yeah.
especially when you become awakened. And I think that's because we're on a really similar journey. And so
Mm.
tonight I wanted you to come on because you're doing some really special things in your life to relaunch and rebirth yourself through transition. And I hope, I don't mind if you actually, as we dive into that, just share a little bit about your journey over
Yeah.
the last couple of months,
Mm.
just to see how you have got to where you are, because you've left me in North Devon to move to Newquay,
Yeah.
and then you've gone deeper back to your purpose. And I want
Mm.
to know why you've gone back into purpose. What is it that you do? And then we've got some really amazing questions to just kind of get your knowledge on, because we believe firmly here that your wealth is your health.
Mm.
Sorry, your health is your wealth. And without having, amazing nutrition. And I think there's been a bit of a con around what we're told. We've just heard from one of our beautiful Star Portal members, Emma, talking about the fact that we go on these diets or these things that can throw us out of balance, homeostasis, and then
Mm.
we end up not feeling correct. And I think what we're trying to do in life at the minute is create balance again. The brain is constantly trying to create balance and homeostasis and predicting how it can keep us in equilibrium to thrive. And one of the things when it's trying to counteract things is that we end up feeling a bit out of sorts as we rebalance. So it'd be great to know what's going on. I know the energy of the world right now is shifting. So tell me a little bit about your journey, Gem, over the last couple of months that's taken you to Newquay, first and foremost. Like, give a little bit of an update
Okay.
about you.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been in the health and fitness space since 2012. So I qualified as a personal trainer and fitness instructor. And I worked in a ladies only gym, and then I worked in a mixed gym and set up my own business, set up my own little studio in North Devon. Didn't have any business experience and it didn't really work out, but carried on running classes in the community, weight loss classes and things like that as well. Obviously, the yoga group that you came to, lots of village hall yoga sessions. And I tried everything over the years, but I always just felt like I was sort of pushing people to want something for themselves that they didn't want for themselves, if that makes sense. I wanted it for them more than they wanted it for themselves. Um, so in 2019, I started a cleaning business because I just wanted to make some money and I just wanted something that would fit around my son, who was 2 at the time. But I always knew that I really wanted to work in health and well-being in some form or another. And I didn't know whether that would mean going back to the fitness and yoga or whether that would mean something completely different. And while I was running my business, I was out cleaning a lot myself, even though I was running a big team as well, doing all the sort of admin and officey stuff and management. I did a lot of cleaning myself and I had my headphones on and I was listening to podcasts almost constantly. And that was brilliant, it kept me going. So lots of self-development, lots of health and fitness and money mindset and lots of nutrition stuff. And I decided to take the big leap of faith and go back to uni. I did an undergraduate degree in childhood studies, graduated in 2009. And yeah, I decided to go back and do a master's in nutrition, which I started last September. Um, but also everything in my life changed at that point. So relationship ended. I moved back in with my parents, obviously taking my son with me. Um, and yeah, everything changed. Got to April this year and I found myself needing somewhere to live. And my new partner lives in Cornwall. So I decided to follow my heart, probably for the first time ever. And I decided to break away from everything that I knew. And everything that I knew was in Devon. I was born in Devon. I was raised in Devon. I didn't even go away when I did my first degree, didn't even go away to uni. I was quite happy to stay at home, keep my part-time job, earn some money and go to the closest uni there was. So I'd always been in Devon. And yeah, I made that move. So in on my birthday, on the 29th of April this year, I loaded up a van with all my stuff and I moved to Newquay, and that's where we've been ever since. And it's been yeah, it's been a year of challenge and it's been a year of learning lessons. And now I'm at the stage finishing up this year where I am looking at a year ahead of, following my purpose, following my passion, and really just want to get out there and help people and share what I know, because I think sometimes I forget that not everybody knows what I know and that actually I need to share that with people.
Because your body's gone on a transition. You have gone literally from the Gemma that I knew was always beautiful, but you are just like now your body is thriving and you're eating in a
Mm,
way that serves you. And I think let's talk a little bit about that in a minute, but I just want to reflect on some things that you've
yeah,
said because back in 2012, people weren't ready, right? We've had a
no,
massive awakening en masse where people are
mm,
realizing that you can't push people into it. People have to want to change. And now
yeah,
people
yeah,
realize that they want to work out, that they want to do things, that they want to move their bodies, they want to eat really well. That actually, the more that
yeah,
they do things like that, they're going to feel amazing and they're going to have more
yeah,
energy. And actually, eating really nice food doesn't have to come at a cost because I think that's one of the cons. You have to go to the gym and do something that you don't enjoy and then
mm,
so that you can eat food because we've been eating food that's really bad for us, right? And now
yeah,
we've like flip
yeah,
reverse, we're eating foods that we thought were really bad for us, but are actually really nourishing for the soul and the body that
yeah,
gives us all this energy. And then we're doing things that we love. Like I
yeah,
love yoga. I've always been really intuitive. And so I just want to touch on something as well that you said, right? Because you didn't just kind of when you were trying to push your dream, if you like, push your purpose, because
mm,
you knew intuitively that something was wrong,
yeah,
you
yeah,
started a business that thrived. You didn't just start a cleaning business. It was an incredible business that's made so much
Mm.
money, that was so abundant, and it was hard to let
Yeah.
go, but you let go of it to go back to purpose. And you've
Yeah.
allowed things to dissipate so that you can focus, and having things in your earbuds like some of the stuff I've been banging on about in my podcast, money mindset,
Yeah.
wealth mindset, knowing that when you follow your heart, you really believe in something, and follow your heart. There's a bit of a misconception. I'm going off on one now, aren't I? Where you think that following your heart is just doing things that you love. You
Mm.
can't go through life and just want to be in a love status. It's hard to make money. We have to
Yeah.
do things that are needed in the world. That's when Ikigai comes. What is needed? What does the world really need that you're gonna get paid for, because you deserve to get paid, but is
Yeah.
also in alignment with what you came here to do, that lights you up
Mm.
because you know the world needs it. And whilst knew they needed it in 2012, you were getting ready. The brain doesn't always
Yeah.
think it thinks it's time. As soon as it has the download of what's to come, it thinks it has to go into action. But the world wasn't ready. You had to learn some more skills. You had to go back and learn some masters. And here you are today. Well done,
Mm.
you, for keeping going and allowing things to burn, and for you to realize, do you know what? Maybe I need to get into the world in a different way. So I just want to say, like, I've been on this journey for quite a while with you. Hats
Mm.
off to you for
Yeah. Thank
keep
you.
going. So, what is it that people need to know about? What is the con, first and foremost, when it comes to eating food, right? Let's just dive into that, because I think what is messing with our hormones? Let's just go in
Okay.
straight into it.
Okay. This might upset a few people, but um,
Don't worry.
okay. So we're told eat less meat. We're told eat more fiber. We're told get your 30 plant foods a week. We don't need to be doing any of that. Now, I've been interested in nutrition since I trained to be a personal trainer 2012. So I've been into this for 13 years. This has been my life's work. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2011, which is an inflammatory bowel disease. It can be quite serious. I was very poorly when I was diagnosed. I didn't leave the house for 3 weeks. I lost a lot of weight. I looked awful. I thought I was dying. I thought I had bowel cancer. I thought that was it. Got the diagnosis and didn't want to go on medication. I had to have steroids to start with because I don't know what would have happened to me if I didn't, but I did and got better. But I still suffered. I was bloated nearly all of the time. I looked pregnant. I was in pain. Sort of horrible symptoms of one thing and another. Lack of energy was insane. I just felt awful. So for me, it was a journey towards healing myself and working out what was going to help me. And I knew it was kind of stress related. Sometimes it was triggered by stress, but I knew that it was food related. And I tried everything. I tried the 30 plant foods, I tried the fiber, I tried everything, and nothing worked until I switched to a high fat, low carb diet, mostly animal based. And I am completely healed. I had a colonoscopy last July and there was no signs of any disease at all. And this is not a healable condition.
Right. Yes, it is a healable condition, because what do we know when we're in a pharmacy world? When you
Mm.
allow your body to flow and be in its fully in its energy, you breathe,
Yeah,
right? The breath, you eat well, you reduce stress, which is creates inflammation, your body can heal.
yeah,
It self heals. It doesn't heal with I'm also scared of saying the wrong thing, Gemma, because we're
yeah.
in a society where we can't speak our truth. But we know,
Mm.
I have been intuitively for 15 years. When I got married, when did I get married? 2014. So
Yeah.
11 years ago, when I got married, I was bloated. I wanted to fit in my dress. So I
Mm.
gave up pretty much went on to a high meat. I ate eggs, a lot of eggs, and I still do today because I changed my diet
Same.
and I really changed the way I ate. And I've really been
Mm,
intuitively eating in that way. And I've always been high
yeah.
fat. I've never been the one to cut off the fat. I've literally just got home
No.
from the gym tonight. I've cut my meat up. I've had like li literally meat. I did eat a bit of cheese. I had a yogurt, like high fat yogurt, because I need protein. My body craves it, and I just eat intuitively. I know it's probably quite lit as well, but
Intuition is massive, and that's
yeah,
another thing that I need to say is follow your intuition. As a child, I would always go for the crispy chicken skin. I'd go for the fatty, scraggy bits of the meat. I'd be scooping the marrow out of the ends of the bones. That's what I wanted,
that's me.
crackling on the pork. Yeah, because that's what
I
nourishes.
get upset,
So
Gemma. If someone was going to eat the skin off the chicken, I'm like, where's all the skin? I'll have the crackling off the pork. But
yeah,
that's not girly, is it? And I'm like,
no.
I'm really like, I remember like when I got married, on my hen do, I ordered a rack of ribs, and I was like, I don't care. This is how I eat.
Mm,
I don't
yeah,
care if it's
but
not
look at you.
girly. I know,
Look at
I'm
you.
tiny.
Exactly. And you're healthy because you're
Yeah.
following the intuition for what you should eat. So when you said about the truth about, what do we need to know? Hormones, I think there's a massive thing going on with perimenopausal women. Um, it's bigger than it used to be. I'm very interested by this. I think older women in their 60s, 70s, 80s, I've spoken to a lot of women because I'm interested in this. I've quizzed them, and you say to them, how was your menopause? Oh, didn't really notice it, had a few hot flushes. And that would be the standard response. I've spoken to lots of my old cleaning clients and, people of those sort of ages. No, didn't really think anything of it. Women are now getting to my age, I'm 37, they're getting to their late 30s, early 40s, and they're suffering. Why?
And we're
There's got
suffering
to be a
massively in our
reason.
mid 40s. I'm
Mm,
seeing it really, really a lot. Like I'm 43,
mm.
but I've been through a major trauma, which
Mm,
for me was stress. So the stress that I went through leaving my marriage
mm,
created me to be in a fight, flight, and freeze response state, which mess with my hormones. But I am so,
yeah,
so committed to not taking anything. I use tooth oil. Like I joke about this with my close friends. I use tooth oil. I won't put anything on my skin that it has
no.
chemicals in it, preservatives. I've been clean
Do you
skin
know what's
living.
good? Beef tallow.
So I've just put beef tallow on my face. So I use beef
Yeah,
tallow on my face with it's amazing. I'm really into because I went vegan as in like in my skincare for a while because I was really like conscious of the planet. But I've gone even
yeah,
now with my skincare, I've gone full on meat fats and
yeah,
it's working. And when I get my collagen now, my
yeah,
collagen is meat based. I'm
yeah.
really, really aware of what I put into my body and it is working because I've gone through, a
Mm,
major trauma. Yeah, I probably had a 12-month breakdown going through it,
yeah,
but I've bounced back without any medication, without any kind
yeah,
of, and I've got up every single day and I'm back in my career. And when
yeah,
people are listening to this, because you've gone through a similar journey of leaving at home and
yeah.
it's traumatic, and that creates
Very, very similar.
this bloating. One of the things that when you stressing your body, one of the questions that we had was, when we go on kind of fitness and diets and things where we are
Mm,
tracking our calories or things like that, and we're eating maybe the wrong things, or we're kind of stressing our body because it's stressful. I'm even the thought of like not eating correctly because you're doing not following an intuition, you're following an app
yeah,
to tell you.
yeah.
You then, when you stop doing that, and so when I
Mm,
went through my trauma of my divorce and I started to feel safe, and you come into a place of safety and you're stopping the stress, that's when you
Yeah.
suddenly are starving and you're eating loads, and therefore
Mm,
you put weight on. Because I lost so much weight in 2024 because I was so stressed. Oh, and
yeah.
I got commended as well. Oh, great, you've lost loads of weight. But it was ridiculous. And so, how can we, if we are thinking, as at any age, because men and women are going through this. Men follow
Mm,
this channel as well, right? Not just women.
yeah.
And I get asked all the time. Men have a menopause, right, where their testosterone falls. How can we?
Andropause. It's called the andropause. Yeah.
What's it called? I just made up a word. Then I called it the menopause. Um,
It's andropause, as in the androgynous hormones. Yeah.
Androgynous hormones in there,
Mm,
like, isn't it like their 40s or 50s? They go through something where their testosterone changes and they start to feel, and it's that is when you search for your purpose. But often it's
mm,
because your body is so out of sync and it's trying to rebalance. And then we're like taking pills or we're not eating correctly. How do you intuitively eat, Gemma? How can we make sure that our diet is giving us, because we'll talk about supplements. I think that would be great to think
mm,
about some really great supplements that you take or we can talk about.
yeah. Mm.
What can we do for our hormones just intuitively with nutrition?
So I think when it comes to intuitive eating, it's all about real food. So it's not about saying, oh, I fancy, um, I don't know, crisps, or I fancy those sweets, or I fancy those little cake things that you get from that shop down the road. It's not about processed food. It's about intuition for real food, because it's very easy to trick ourselves into believing that, oh, I'm eating intuitively and my intuition's telling me to go for those, and I'll go for those, and that they're not particularly healthy foods for you.
Salt
But if
comes up a
you
lot for me when you're saying this. So often
salt,
when we're craving crisps, it's because we need salt. And we're
well,
told
because we've been
salt's
told
really
not
bad for you.
to.
It's not bad for you. You tell me about the thing you
I
drink in the
dr-
morning, Jem.
I drink I drink salt. So I drink Celtic salt and lemon water. So I have about a quarter of a teaspoon of proper Celtic salt and a good squeeze of lemon in some warm water in the morning to rehydrate me. That's a habit I've been doing for a couple of years now. And do you know what? If I go away, I am taking my Celtic salt and a lemon with me. So if I
So
go to
for
a
15 years,
hotel,
I've had warm lemon water in the morning
mm,
with salt. It's
yeah,
been something that when I was bloated, when I was getting married,
mm,
I looked up what I should be taking, and I have every single morning I buy so many lemons.
yeah,
I'm not bitter
yeah,
though, for it, honest. And it's the same thing because I have been, and it's bad for your teeth. My teeth are all right, but I don't brush them with fluoride. Um,
me neither.
I use tooth oil, but you're not meant to brush your teeth after you've had something acidic. You have got to be careful with these things.
You
But
have, you
it,
have,
it's a great way when you are craving something like salt. Don't go and
yeah,
have some crisps. You need to probably have some more water, some more hydration is
yeah.
probably needed.
And
We're
the
not drinking
salt, put the salt in
and
it,
put some
because
salt in.
it's balancing your electrolytes. That's probably why you're craving things. So it could be things like magnesium, or potassium
Yeah,
that you're craving, and you might think, oh, I'll get it from the crisps, but while crisps aren't inherently bad for you, you have got a ton of rapeseed oil or sunflower oil in there, which is inflammatory, and that's
yeah.
not good for you. So unless you can get the olive oil ones, if you're going to go to Marks and Spencer's and pay, £4, £4.50 a bag for them,
And then you're
that's
having
fine. That's
carbs.
not a
And I don't
problem.
believe, because
Yeah,
carbs just digest into sugar, right?
sugar,
And then
which
you get
then
a
turns
sugar
to fat
hit
in
as
your
well.
body.
How can you get magnesium from food? You know, what,
Um,
you
a
know,
lot of it is like leafy vegetables and things like that, which I don't
green.
eat a lot of. So I do have supplements for magnesium. Yeah.
I put, so this is funny. I'll tell you, I love funny stories because I think this is what people resonate with, isn't it, when they think about things. So I've always
Yeah.
eaten a lot of greens. Do you remember I
Mm,
interviewed Darren O'Lean actually? Darren is the
yeah.
author of Super Life. He is an amazing man from America who did Back Down to Earth on Netflix with Zac Efron. And so he
Mm,
knows a thing or two about broccoli sprouts. And we talked about it on
yeah.
the show. I've always eaten greens and I put them in my morning smoothie. So every
Mm,
morning, once I've had my lemon water, I make a smoothie that I take a little bit later on, and I have high protein in it, protein powder, and I shove leafy greens in it. And it's a bit
mm,
green, but it tastes really good because I've got my protein powder that tastes a bit chocolatey. And I put things in it, berries, like high dark berries, like, I put things in it that gives me a really great start, but I don't have it first thing. I have it a little bit later,
mm,
so I take it. My NutriBullet isn't the thing that I'm so blessed that I bought because it just creates things. So I actually I could just eat out of a packet spinach leaves. I'm weird.
mm,
Anyway, and I know this and I've had this all my life. You eat like a rabbit, but I eat intuitively. I eat what I feel like I want to have. And
yeah.
in my office the other day, they said, "What are you eating? It looks disgusting." I said, "You go and put your McDonald's burger in a blender and see what color it looks. It's going to look like
Yeah.
poo, right? Poo, because it's a brown burger. Mine doesn't look like
Mm,
poo. Mine looks a bit chocolatey and really tastes nice." Think about that for a minute. Sorry. But if it helps you to think differently about food and about what you put in your body and to shift out of fast food, you know,
mm,
because yeah, a McDonald's burger might smell nice in the office. I don't think it does.
no.
I'm like, I'd rather be sniffing this smoothie that smells like chocolate than that. Anyway, so leafy
But also,
green.
like healthy food can be quick and easy as well.
Mm.
Since I've been eating sort of animal based, I spend a lot less time in the kitchen. When I was sort of doing the whole, 30 plant foods a week, and I was eating the rainbow and I was eating a really balanced diet. It's interesting actually because I found some photos not that long ago that I'd taken, or someone had taken for me of me in my underwear for a sort of progress thing back in 2021. So at that point, I'd been a personal trainer for a long time. I was active, I was going to the gym most days, I was eating what I thought was a balanced diet. When I look back at those photos, I was a size 10, but I look puffy, I look bloated, my skin looks awful. I don't look healthy. I look inflamed. And if you compare those photos to the ones that I took couple of months ago when I found these, the difference is insane. And that's just from switching like to an animal based diet. But it doesn't, I spend far less time in the kitchen, far less time on preparing food. I used to spend ages cooking all these elaborate meals and I did love it. I do enjoy cooking. But now it's a case of making some burgers out of some beef mince and, shoving them on a plate with some sweet potato wedges or something like that. Or I'll just cook up some chicken thighs and some peppers and mushrooms, or some chicken wings with some nice seasoning on, or a steak with some egg and broccoli or something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be complicated. I do cook and I do more complicated meals, but mostly weeknights it's
I
easy.
get beetroot to get me reds, like beetroot and carrot is the easiest way. When you're thinking about getting some colours, you could just get carrots.
Mm.
Like, and I love like
But you don't need the colours though. We've been kind of led to believe that we have to have the colours, and there are certain benefits from things like blueberries and things like that, but we don't actually. If you really look into it, the
tell
proper
me more
human
about this then.
diet
This is
is
amazing because
meat.
what is it about what? Because I was having this conversation in the sauna tonight. I have a lot of conversations in sauna around we're meant to be foragers, we're meant to eat berries. What is it that you've uncovered in your research and in your masters that really maybe helps us to kind of shift on some of this?
So it didn't come from the masters. It didn't
No.
come from university. University, you go in and they basically bring up the eat well plate, which you've probably all seen or heard of,
Yeah.
and they start teaching you from the government guidelines. Well, I don't want to know about the government guidelines because if the government are telling me to do something, I'm not going to do it because why are they telling me to do that? Why are they telling us to eat that way? And everybody's sick. So it's not working. That eat well plate is not working, let's face it. And it's
Yeah.
suggesting 50% of your diet should be carbs. Well, that's completely wrong. And it's no wonder why people are getting
Yeah.
diagnosed with diabetes left, right, and centre. So, I mean, from my own research, um, the proper human diet is meat. And you think about people used to go out and they would hunt and they would find something, an animal to kill and eat, and they would eat and they'd eat the really fatty bits because that's what would insulate them, that's what would give them energy, that's what would absorb vitamins. Certain vitamins will only absorb if you have fat in your diet. So if you're on a no fat or low fat diet, you are not absorbing those vitamins. But
Yeah.
they used to eat all the fatty bits. They used to eat the really kind of disgusting bits because they were the bit, the organs. There's a big thing about organ meat these days,
Yes, this
because
came
that's
up in a
where the
conversation the other
nutrients
day
are.
that I had with yeah, with my partner. That basically organ meat is the is one of the things he's shoving in his
Mm,
smoothie. And I'm like, that sounds disgusting.
yeah.
But it's true because it's
No,
so
it's
high
it's true.
so high in nutrition. And
Mm,
the problem that I think a lot of people are finding at the minute is that the meat that we're getting is really bad quality as well, which is why I think we do need supplementation. Because
mm.
some of the things that we're getting, a lot of people are eating chicken from the supermarket that just is not chicken.
But
We could go
also
down a
look at the
huge rabbit
vegetables.
hole on this,
Look
but
at the vegetables and fruit that we're eating. It's all been sprayed. It's
it's all been
all
sprayed.
full of pesticides. And also the soil is not as good quality as it used to be. So the nutrients that we think we're getting from those vegetables, we're not getting, but also it's covered in glyphosate or some sort of spray. So actually I used to eat loads of vegetables and loads of fruit and loads of salad.
Yeah,
And like I say, I was bloated and uncomfortable and
yeah,
lacking energy. And now I
yeah.
hardly, I have fruit, um, but I don't eat many vegetables at all.
I
And I feel so much
literally
better.
have a bowl of like chicken broth. That is something that will fill me
Mm,
up. People think, and this is the truth. If I have a carb-based diet in the morning, like cereals, I am
yeah,
starving. I crash. But
literally in half an hour.
I eat eggs every day. I have boiled
Same.
eggs. So, I do this smoothie thing because I think that gives me the greens and things. I have magnesium capsules along with my collagen, which is my
Yeah,
my bovine collagen, I think it is. Um,
yeah.
so, I use Ancient and Brave's collagen. I'm really choosy about where I get these supplements. I don't spend a lot of money on it because, I
Mm,
do spend probably about £50 a month on some selective supplements like collagen and magnesium. I've just bought
yeah.
a new tallow balm, actually, the beef tallow magnesium foot balm to help me sleep at night.
Mm,
And I've just done two
yeah.
nights, and I feel like it's helping me already because sleep
Mm,
gets affected when you come out of a trauma because your cortisol starts to it's all about the hormones, isn't it? And I do believe that I try not to eat pasta anymore. And the
yeah,
more
I
I
don't.
just eat meat with
Mm,
vegetables, I do love vegetables. I do eat broccoli, and I do eat spinach, and I do love a carrot when I roast it. It tastes really good, like
mm,
caramelized. Um,
yeah,
and I eat cucumbers chopped up as snacks. I just eat things that I just really like, that I feel like I'm craving. And I notice when I'm dehydrated, because hydration is the biggest part of this,
Mm,
and moving your body around. Like if you are sat still and stagnant, and I'm doing a day job at the minute, so this is one of the reasons why I'm really
mm,
committed to making sure that I get in the heat, and do my all of my things that I really have intuitively been doing for my whole life, like my yoga and my sauna and things like that. Doing all of the things that now has become a trend. Well, I've been just doing this
mm.
for my whole life. Um, a girl
Do
from
you do
Yorkshire.
strength training, Em?
Yeah, so tonight I was lifting weights. I
Mm,
was doing my bench press. I'm gonna ache tomorrow because I mix it up. And so I was, because my boot, that's why I went to boot camp tonight, and that's why I'm a bit sweaty. I was like, Jem won't mind because I need to get my bit with my weights in. So
you
tonight I was doing some
you do.
kettlebells and weights
Yep.
with Luke Doyle, Luke at
Yeah.
Saunton. So yes, and this is the key. Tell me why strength training is really
Because
important.
we start to lose muscle mass in our 30s, unbelievably. So if you're not doing anything about it, then you're losing muscle mass from your 30s, which most people are not even thinking about. But every decade that we age from there, the muscle that we lose, it's called sarcopenia. Um, it's our bodies are losing that muscle mass at a greater rate every year, every decade that we go. So in your 40s you're going to lose more, in your 50s you're going to lose more, in your 60s more again. And the older you get, the more muscle you're losing. And the only real way, yes, you can eat well and you can eat your protein and your fats and things, but really the only way is to strength train. And a lot of women have been scared off of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to get bulky. Well, I've
I'm
been
not
strength
bulky at
training
all.
for a long
Okay, I'm
time
gonna do
and
something
I'm not
brave,
bulky.
right? I've just come from the gym. Yeah. And I do. I have strong arms. I do my
Yeah,
chaturanga
same.
in yoga.
Mm,
Okay. I really look after myself, and I don't work out like a demon, guys. I have a
mm,
day job now. I do yoga. I try and do 15 to 20 minutes yoga in the morning, not always. And then I do this twice a week boot camp,
mm,
and I run because I love it. I love running,
yeah.
right? That's my meditation. Sorry, I'm going to put this back on because I'm cold today. But without the fire on. But listen, it's so important that we don't fear being feminine. We can be feminine.
Mm,
We will be more beautiful when we really embrace the fact that we can eat meat.
yeah.
We can, and by the way, eating those eggs, you're not going to fart. I don't fart, I don't think, anymore.
That's all a myth, and your cholesterol will be fine.
Yeah,
People
your
worry about their
cholesterol will
cholesterol.
be actually perfect.
There's a whole scam. I don't have time to tell you about the whole thing tonight, but there was a whole scam about the low fat thing. Um, in the sort of 60s, there was a scientist who basically made us believe that we needed to go low fat because it would help our hearts, it would help our health. Um, and so that's where it all started. And he just managed to brainwash everybody. And it just went on from there. But it was to take away the spotlight from sugar because it was starting to get recognized that sugar was not good for you and that was
Not always
causing,
alcohol, is
and
it?
carbs.
We fear alcohol, but I
Mm,
believe it's the sugar that is the problem.
mm,
Yes, we don't want to get drunk all the time, but when we drink alcohol, we're
mm.
usually getting a massive sugar hit.
Oh, yeah.
And I've realized that when I have a hangover, even when I now, because I don't really drink booze anymore, when I even go out and I drink sugary drinks as a replacement, like these low
Mm.
alcohol things, I've just still got a hangover the next day
Fizzy
because of the
water.
sugar.
I just have fizzy water, sparkling water and lemon, and you don't get any side effects from that. I don't drink. I haven't drunk alcohol for 2 years now. Um,
Kombucha's great.
kombucha, yeah. I
I
don't.
love
I
it.
don't drink low alcohol or no alcohol. Don't drink like alcohol-free beers or anything like that. I tend to. I like a herbal tea if I'm honest, but
Oh,
I tend
oh,
to
cacao
tend to stick
ceremony. Oh,
to
give me a cacao
cacao. Yeah,
ceremony. any day because chocolate
Mm,
and Darren was talking about this, Darren Olin was talking about this on his Instagram page the other day. Chocolate is so
yeah.
good for you, but when you make it milk chocolate, it's not good anymore. High grade cacao.
80% plus. Yeah.
It's like it's God's food, okay?
Mm,
It's things that we can put into our body that give us absolute pleasure. Food is meant to be
yeah.
pleasurable. Life is meant to be full
Oh,
of
it is.
pleasure
I've always said that. I love food.
because we're reducing if you are enjoying food,
Mm,
intuitively eating, and you absolutely love your life because you have energy and you have
mm,
time because you're not stressing about cooking a massive meal all night. And then you get to have
yeah.
meaningful conversations and you're down the
Mm,
gym or wherever you do like to do your working out because you're in a community then.
that's
This
it.
is
Yeah.
what it's all about. It doesn't mean you
And
don't
it
go to
feels
work.
so it feels so good as well. Just feels so good to feel good. And that is my motivation, is that I just want to feel as good as I can every day. And I also think about my 90-year-old self. And I mean, people that are around me hear me say that a lot. But I think about 90-year-old me, how do I want to be? I've obviously, when I was running my cleaning business, I worked for a lot of older people, and you
Yeah.
see them and you think how you want to be at that age. Firstly, I want to get there. And secondly, I want to get there and be as healthy as possible. I want to be one of those old ladies that people are coming up to and saying, I can't believe you're 90. I want to be like you when I'm your age, and I'm still going to the gym and I'm still
The
independent
blue
and
zones. They go to the gym. The research of the blue zones where the centaurians are, and it's not because they live in the mountains, it's because they
it's
live a
not
life
because it's
of
not
no,
because they don't eat meat either, because
it's
that's what they tried to
it's
say
because
was
they
that it
live a
was a
life of no
vegan
stress. It's
ikigai
about
as well.
stress.
Mm,
So if you it is all about being without stress
and community.
and community and
It is.
connection.
It is definitely. And they tried to the documentary on Netflix, they tried to say that it was the meat-free diet, and it isn't that. It is definitely the fact that they're following their purpose and they're
Yeah.
still doing stuff. They're on, if you've watched that documentary, there's a guy who's in his, I think he's 100 and something, and he says, I go out to work until about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I do this, and then I, get together with the villagers and things like that. And so he's still working,
Yeah.
he's not retired. He's still doing the stuff that he loves. It's
So I just
it's
want to
about it's
spin
about
on
that.
it, Jem, because I've gone back into a 9 to 5. Okay. I
Mm,
was the rebellious person that was saying, quit your day job, follow your passion. And I've gone back into a 9 to 5. But let me tell you this, it has not dimmed my light or dimmed my passion. In
no,
fact, I'm doing my purpose because I'm back in fund wealth management. I feel really
yeah.
blessed and I'm doing something that I genuinely love and believe in. And it's a
Mm,
big part of my journey, and I know I'm there for a reason because I
yeah.
get up still at 6 o'clock and I do my cards. So I've got my card decks here. So I read some cards. I have a cup of tea. I start my day very gentle because I'm a feminine.
Mm,
I'm not a masculine. I lean into my feminine energy. I and then I move, and then my kids come down or whatever, or I'm on my own, and I'll play some music, and then I'll do some yoga. I park so I can walk into work. I work, I go for a run at lunchtime. They think I'm crazy
mm,
because I'm having a wet whitewash in the bathroom. I don't care what I look like when I go back to my desk.
mm,
I'm literally, and then I'll go and I'll do my evening routine. My evenings used to be full of, literally celebrated lasted the day because I was really unhappy in my life. I'd have a glass of
mm,
wine at 6, so sugar, and then I'd be asleep by 8 because I was avoiding my life. I'd go to sleep with the kids and that was it. My
mm,
evenings are packed. Sauna, working out, connection,
mm.
hanging out with people that I really care about
I
till
love
late at
that.
night, and then I'll do a breath session, or I'll just crash and burn in my bed because I'm
Mm,
genuinely exhausted from my life. And that is
mm,
every single day. Just because I'm working, I have
mm.
purpose, right?
Yeah,
And I have passion about what I'm doing. And I'm also doing something in the bigger perspective as well for myself, still doing
yeah.
the YouTube channel. So just because you're working a 9 to 5, it doesn't matter. Don't stress the
Mm,
nuts about what all the gurus tell you. Your life is happening exactly as it should, but you raise your
yeah.
consciousness to the connection to what you're doing and why you're doing it and follow your heart. And if you want to
Mm,
shift and make changes, start thinking about the incremental things that you can change. And it really does start with your energy, your diet and what you put into your body. Because I started doing this 15 years ago,
mm.
right? And I've in its Atomic Habits, James Clear is a really good book. It starts with the
Yeah, love
little
that book.
things that you do. Ah, Gemma, what a you mean you've shared some incredible nuggets there. You've taught me so much. You've reminded me of so many things. What do you want people to know? What do you want people to know if you can leave a message for people when, if they're feeling stressed, burned out, bloated, unhappy, and how can people find you if they
I
need your
think
support?
listen to your body. Listen to your body, be intuitive, but get help if you need it. I've only scratched the surface of it all tonight. There's so much more. And nutrition's so important. Like we're putting stuff into our bodies. And then what happens to it? It's like that's becoming us. What we eat is, you know, it's doing jobs in our body. And sometimes people need help. It took me 13 years to work out how to heal a serious digestive health condition. I was suffering and medical professionals didn't know how to help me. And it took me a long time to find that information. If you can get help and if you're suffering with something and you can cut that time down from like 13 years to maybe 6 weeks, if someone had only told me 13 years ago, go animal based, eat the foods that you really want to eat, I could have been better a long time ago. So don't feel like, get help if you need it. Listen. If your body's telling you something, it's
If
telling you
you
for a
hadn't have gone
reason.
through this, Gemma, and had that story, because that's a really similar
Mm,
story to Neeraj and why he believes in Soma breath, because he healed an autoimmune
yeah,
disease, right?
yeah,
It is one of the evidential things that you can say. It's a big part of your story. It's a big part of the credibility of why it's what creates the belief. If you believe in something, it's
mm,
true, and that belief
yeah.
becomes your reality. And so the fact that you've self-healed is really, really, really quite
Mm.
magical.
And I know that there are still people out there with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, IBS, which is it's not even a medical condition, it's an umbrella diagnosis, which basically means you have a digestive complaint and we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't know what's causing it. So we'll call it IBS. Um, there are loads of people out there with those conditions or with just undiagnosed digestive complaints that are still being told up your fiber intake, eat some beans, um, you know, eat more vegetables. And that might not be the right advice. It wasn't for me. I needed to cut all that out. Basically, I don't eat beans anymore because they're not good for me. If I eat them, my body reacts to them. And there are still people out there, you know, following that advice like I did, thinking that it's well meaning and it might not be helping. So yeah, there's, you know, sometimes people need a bit of extra help.
And so the people that need a little bit of extra help, how can they find you?
So I'm on Instagram at NutritionGems, and you'll also find me on LinkedIn. That's just my name, Gemma Mullinger.
So we'll
So
put the
those are
links,
probably the two best places.
we'll put the links in the show notes so people can find you. Thank you, Gemma. What a beautiful
I've really
conversation.
enjoyed it. Thank you.
I've absolutely loved. I could just talk about this all day. I if I
Yeah.
this is really genuinely going back to passion and purpose. You're welcome, my love. Um, this just talking on the Wealth Rebel show. This is my thing, right? This is what I
Mm,
love doing. I love talking to other people about what their magic, because we need your
yeah.
magic in this world. We need to know. You started off by apologizing about offending someone because we're so afraid of saying what we
Yeah.
think is the truth. And yeah, there are so many different truths out there, but I think it's being able to have that conversation in a safe container where we can just talk
Mm,
about things and get a different perspective. Because, like you said,
yeah.
the body is an ecosystem. We're all super unique as well. Someone might be able to eat
Mm,
beans, someone might not be able to eat beans, right? Be
absolutely.
intuitive, listen to your body. We're not here to say that you shouldn't take the medication, just to be clear, that you
Yeah.
shouldn't do things. But if you need to really give your body the best chance as early on in life as it can, where you don't need the medication, where you allow it to self-heal, because the research is
Yeah.
showing that if you give yourself the chance to heal, it will heal.
Yeah.
You've evidentially
Definitely.
shown. Thank you, my love. I will see you really soon. Thank you for coming on the show, my love.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Namaste. Hey you, I'm Emma, the Wealth Rebel. By night, I work for an independent wealth management firm in the heart of North Devon. And by night, I moonlight, so they say, where I step fully into being the Wealth Rebel. The Wealth Rebel isn't about money first, it's about vibration. It's about living from presence and being fully on purpose. And it's about being aligned to your true wealth frequency. Yes, in my day job, I help people build real world financial freedom through financial planning with old school integrity at its core. But outside of this, I support people somatically through hands-on, where I give Swedish massage therapy because I believe to embody true wealth, it starts in the body. Embodiment is the first step to your becoming. And here on this channel, I help you to raise your level of vibrational energy. I want to share with you the ways that you can discover my star code to empower you to learn how to breathe so that you can step into your highest timeline as I train to become a Soma breathwork practitioner. Why do I do this? So I can lead by example, by living from presence, fully on purpose, so you can come home to the version of you that feels aligned, abundant, and most importantly, alive. So, if you're ready to live a life that you love, welcome to the Wealth Rebel Show. And if you want to work with me or explore any of my offerings, all my links are in my bio. Namaste.